Did I change my workout routine? Maybe I started running again, or maybe I'm just getting in more steps than I used to. Am I drinking more water? Maybe getting more protein? Well, what is the one thing that has changed the game when it comes to my mental health? Well, it's none of the above. Although all those things are great for your mental health, and I do continue to lift heavy weights, walk every day, stretch every day, eat lots of protein, meditate, drink lots of water, journal, all those good things that are absolutely great for your mental health. But the one thing that I have changed, I actually changed it a while ago, but I really limit my time on social media. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. Maybe you're noticing a different background today. I am going to be splitting my time between Park City and New York City. So today I am in New York City, and at the end I will address why I'm going to be splitting my time. But with this move to New York City, I made the commitment to get off social media just for 1 week because I had so much to do between school and moving and buying new furniture and all that fun stuff to get my time sucked up by social media. But then 1 week turned into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks. And I must say, the biggest pro for me was the amount of work I was able to accomplish during that 3-week period of time. If you've been on this channel before, you know that just like you, I am a pretty busy person. I write up fitness programs for people. I do virtual personal training. I'm in a master's program for health sciences and nutrition. I have an elderly parent. Just a lot going on. And I've been talking about the importance of limiting your time on social media for probably over a year now, because it wasn't last New Year's, but it was the New Year's before that where my resolution was to come up with a game plan to really limit my time on social media. And here's the game plan that I came up with that has worked so well for me. Because I'm a business owner, I really do need to take advantage of social media. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook and right here on YouTube. And I know it's great for my business, and I love to build a community of like-minded individuals. So obviously I wasn't going to give it up completely. Now, when it comes to my personal accounts, I don't spend that much time on the personal accounts unless there's a big event like a birthday or a holiday, and I'll put pictures of my kids up there and my husband. But on my business account, I try to stay pretty active. But the rules that I follow that have worked really, really great are I let myself get on 3 times a day, 10 minutes each time. So one of the times is usually when I'm posting, and I try to stay on for about 10 minutes to be active with any early comments that come in. And so that's usually in the morning, but not until usually around 11 or 12. Well, 12 would be the afternoon, but it's usually later in between clients. I'll pop on there and either post something or just check, maybe comment on some other posts that I like. And then later in the day, I do 10 more minutes, whether it's posting or just checking out other people's posts. And then later in the day, 1 more time. Sometimes I only do it a couple times a day and end up with just 20 minutes. But on average, I would say to about 30 minutes total on social media. The other thing that's been a huge game changer for me, like I said, is I don't get on social media before 11 a.m. Sometimes it's even later. And I say social media, but I actually mean all devices. I don't check email. I will check text just to see if a client has texted me saying they have to cancel or we need to reschedule or anything like that. But I will check the weather before I take Fiona outside, and I do use a meditation app called Headspace in the morning, but besides that, just no checking email, definitely not checking Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. So that has been really, really helpful. You can probably guess that I have a shut-off time for social media and basically all my devices, and that is at 7:30 p.m. If I wake up in the middle of the night, never have I ever gotten on social media thinking that's going to help me go back to sleep. If anything, in my case, that would just get me more wound up. Social media is not all bad. Today, let's talk about the pros and the cons of social media. We know it's clear that social media connection is not the same psychologically as face-to-face connection, but there are some pros when it does come to social media. One of my favorite things about social media is it's just a simple way to connect and stay up to date with family and friends all over the world. It's also a great way to find new friends and build new communities and find other people that have the same interests and ambitions as you do. It's also a great way to promote worthwhile causes and raise awareness on important issues. It's also a great place to seek out emotional support or give emotional support to someone in need. For someone who lives in a remote area or someone who has limited independence or social anxiety, social media can be a great tool. It's also a really great place for you to showcase your creativity and your self-expression. It's also a great place where you can learn and find valuable information. Well, usually valuable. Okay, let's go into the cons, and you probably know some of these. There's been really limited research on the long-term effects of social media, and that's really just because it hasn't been around that long. But what some studies do suggest is that heavy social media use has a link to an increased risk of depression, anxiety, and even loneliness. Because most of the things we look at on social media are beautiful and fun and sometimes really extravagant. And what this can do is make you believe that your life is inadequate. As much as we know that these pictures and videos are doctored up and people are made to look the best they can possibly look, we know this, but it can still create insecure thoughts for a lot of people. The other thing it can do is create FOMO. Have you been out to dinner with friends and someone goes to take a picture and then someone has to say, nobody post this on social media or so-and-so is going to feel left out? I have been there. I have been there at that dinner. I can't say I get FOMO very often. Sometimes when FOMO, if you don't know, is the fear of missing out. I always call it JOMO, the joy of missing out. Yep, I am a total homebody. But for many people, FOMO can actually create anxiety issues, it can lower your self-esteem, and believe it or not, it can increase your use of social media. Yes, it can fuel your use and overuse of social media like an addiction. Isolation is definitely another con. Oh, something's going on down there. Welcome to the big city. And you would think it would have the opposite effect. Sorry about that. Yeah, you would think it would have the opposite effect and it would be a way for you to feel a little bit more connected. But no, they say that the more time spent on social media, the more lonely someone can feel. I also touched on depression and anxiety, so let's just talk about that a little bit more. To be mentally healthy, we need face-to-face contact. There's nothing that can reduce stress and boost your mood more than eye-to-eye contact with someone, especially someone who truly cares about you. So the more you prioritize social media interaction over eye-to-eye, face-to-face contact, the greater risk you are of developing a mood disorder such as anxiety or depression. All right, another con is, this is a big one, cyberbullying. When you put yourself out there, the likelihood of receiving a negative comment every now and then is pretty high. Now, you may know this, but 10% of teens have reported being cyberbullied. But it doesn't just happen to teens, it happens to adults too. And many times it's just offensive comments, but if you don't have thick skin, these can really get to you. When I owned my spin studio, people could write reviews on a few different platforms, and I would get so many 5-star reviews, amazing comments, but it was always the one bad comment that I held on to. Have you been there? Yeah, it's the one negative comment that just sticks in your mind. I now have much thicker skin, and I have put myself out there right here on YouTube, and I have gotten some comments that I just think are hilarious now. Like the last one I got, it was on a short, and someone said, it was probably a kid, it just said, "Go home and take your meds, Grandma." And that actually made me laugh out loud. Okay, this last one I haven't really thought about, but it makes perfect sense. It is self-absorption. And why is that? Well, taking endless selfies and posting everything about your life can actually lead to self-centeredness. And this might distance you from real life connections. All right, so let's go back to why limiting my time on social media has just been a huge gift when it comes to my mental health. For me, it was the comparison. And you guys all know the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. And as much as I do enjoy being on social media and creating content, what I was finding was I was always drawn to the people in my field doing amazing things or doing something very similar to what I was doing. And it would make me wonder, well, why do they have that many followers and I don't? And when I thought my content, or I think my content is just as great. But there's room for all of us out there, and I'm just gonna keep doing, there goes Fiona. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I love to help educate you guys and just spread the health and the fitness and the nutrition. So for me, that's what the big thing was, the comparison. I still follow all the people that I look up to in my industry. I love following boss babes. Those are my favorite people to follow. And you know what? If I come across a page or an account that doesn't lift me up, that maybe makes me feel worse, I don't have to unfollow them, but you can always just silent them. And maybe you just do it temporarily, but just be aware of that. If you are on someone's Instagram account or Facebook page or TikTok, and it doesn't light you up inside and make you feel good or put a smile on your face, just silent them. All right, social media. So I told you I planned to go off it for a week, and then it turned into 2 weeks, and then it turned into 3 weeks, and now here I am making my first video in a while. And I promise you I will not fall off the bandwagon again. Is that what it's called? Or jump on the bandwagon? Whatever. I am going to stay consistent, getting one video out a week, and I will start giving you a lot more shorts to enjoy. And what else? Oh, so I wanted to mention why I am going to be splitting my time between Park City and New York City. Many of you may know that my dad passed away a little over a year ago, and my mom is on her own, and she's old and she's doing well, but she has taken some falls, and I'm just really worried about her. She lives in New York and I just want to be closer to her. So I signed a lease on an apartment in New York City, and so I will be splitting my time between here and Park City, bouncing back and forth, probably a little bit more time here in New York City, and it's gonna be fun. It's like a fun little adventure, and I'm closer to my mom. I can go see her whenever I want, and that's really the point of this. And just hug those people that you love, hold them close in your heart, and you know, you never know what life is going to bring you and how many days we have left. So it's a very comforting thought for me to know that I'm so close to her, and that's why I'm gonna be splitting my time. But my husband is still in Park City. My kids one's in Park City, one's in Salt Lake City. One of my sons was already here visiting me just over the weekend, and I haven't been here very long. And I know that everyone is going to come visit, and I'm excited, but when it gets really hot here this summer, I'll probably head back to Park City, because in Park City, it's so beautiful in the summer. But for now, I'm going to be enjoying my time in New York City, and I will be bringing you more content from my new apartment. And if you want a tour, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to show you. And also let me know in the comments below if you have any social media rules that you go by, because we could all use a little help in this department. And I love the rules that I have been sticking to. They've made a huge, huge difference. And it's good to be back though. I took a little break, now I'm back. I'm excited to be back. And if you liked this content today, or you like any of this content on this channel, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, and let me know what you want me to talk about next. I loved that you were here today. My name's Regan. This is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF. Goodbye from New York City.